Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They're the best in the business. That's why they're #1 in Pittsburgh. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Make sure you give them a call, because I would. If I need a roof, I'm calling Ireland Contracting. Give us a call right now on the Borders to Borders hotline, 412-575-2600. We get a tweet from Kevin Hammer here, Ron. Time's up on the Broussard experiment. Time to move on with the top-notch talent we have, not getting it done. I mean, I think it's way too early to start talking about giving up on Broussard. I think he's a good. I actually, I don't want to, I don't want to sound like a homer here, but I think this team's going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I think they're set up well. The Penguins.
I don't get the top-notch talent not getting it done. They just came off a great win last night in Edmonton, and an even better win for me in Toronto last week to win that game the way they did. I think they're starting to find their game a little bit. Yeah, Broussard has, got to do more. I'm okay saying that, but what are they, 7 games into the season? I'm not giving up on anybody yet.
Yeah, neither am I. And by the way, that goal was pretty last night, wasn't it? Sidney Crosby's goal. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the radio today. I mean, how do you rank his all-time great goals? But that's certainly up there. I mean,
it's got to be a top 10, right?
Just spectacular. I mean, to do the little spin move and then puck handle through the center and then just wait and beat the goaltender with a backhander, just beautiful.
Yeah. So do you think he's the #1 player in the world? Everyone talks about the Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby debate right now. I mean, I would rather have Sidney Crosby with this team right now, but maybe if you're telling me 4, 5, 6 years from now.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But we're talking about right now. I think Sid's two-way game still makes him the best. And, man, it looks like he heard that talk all week in Canada because they had all that time off and constantly, who's the best player? And even Sid, very respectfully said, McDavid, he's won the scoring titles. You got to give it to him. I don't think he truly believes that, and I think he took it personally and kind of made a statement last night. Now, McDavid was very good, too.
Yes.
He had a goal and an assist, but Sid's still not quite ready to give up that label yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I still think he's the #1 player. He's the guy that I would rather have. All right, let's go out to Waylon out in Washington. What's up, Waylon? How you doing?
Hi, Richie. Hey, Ron.
Hey.
It's always good to hear from you guys.
Thanks.
You guys are always on your game. And, and I'm just thinking tonight, like, I'm trying to think of something positive. And I just think we live in a great sports town. And, it's not a question, but just some insight. Like, I don't know why, but, Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. And I think we get our heartbeat from the 70 Steelers. But any thoughts? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question this is a great sports town. I think we were just talking about this up in the sports department tonight, how, I think Pittsburgh fans, they appreciate the Pittsburgh athlete, first of all, but then they also appreciate the hard-working athlete, and you've seen so many of those guys come through here.
I mean, we've been so blessed maybe not so much in baseball, but certainly with the Penguins and Steelers, just every year they're competitive. You like going into the season, you think they have a chance to win championships, and they have done it. I mean, we could be in so many other towns that don't have what we have here, not just great teams, but great players, from Lemieux to Yager to Crosby and Malkin in hockey to all the Hall of Famers for the Steelers. Now you're watching a couple Hall of Famers in Ben and Antonio, and I thought Le'Veon Bell was headed there. There's just been so many great stories, so many great times. It's been a great, what a great place to be in our business.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
Really is.
And what we've seen over even the last decade, maybe the last 15 years, you've seen Stanley Cups, Super Bowls. I mean, how often do you get to see? Does the town get to have
you're right.
experience that?
Now, not in baseball so much.
Not in baseball. That's the one thing I want to see.
And I'm watching the World Series. I watched these playoffs last week, and I just remember we had a little taste of it in 13, 14, and 15. Even a little taste of it was pretty intoxicating.
Yes, it was, and I hope that they can get back there at some point. All right, let's go out to Maryland, out in Munhall. What's up, Maryland?
Hi, I was wondering how you gentlemen thought the Steelers had improved enough for this Sunday's game so that it wouldn't end up like the first game.
Well, I think they've improved a lot, and they better not end up like the first game or worse. You lose to Cleveland at home, you get what you deserve. And, I mean, if you miss the playoffs, you miss the playoffs. You can't lose to a bad team or even a growing bad team at home.
You know,
they've already lost 2 at home.
That one loss, I think, you know, obviously I think Ben blames himself. I
Well, they didn't lose it. It feels like a loss.
Yeah, well, yeah, it does. I keep saying a loss, but
it was a tie.
It feels like a loss. I mean, 5 turnovers, that's hard to even tie a game, and they did. So, you know.
They had 6 if you count Connors.
Yeah, and then there was Connors, which was a crucial part in the game. Yeah, that was a tough one to swallow.
It felt like a loss, absolutely, but it was a tie.
Yeah, it was a tie. You're right. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Bob out in Clearfield. How you doing, Bob?
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call. I'd just like to hear your thoughts on a matter. I think the most shocking part about the World Series this year is the extent to which he said the small market teams are completely and hopelessly outclassed by the major market teams. And unfortunately, I don't think there's any possibility of a balanced and impactful revenue-sharing plan coming anytime soon. The only way I think that something like that could ever be brought about is if a couple of teams were to suspend operations right in the middle of the season and take this whole unfair mess and dump it right in the laps.
Well, you know what? I don't buy the argument at all. I mean, Milwaukee Brewers came within, what, 1 game of going to the World Series here?
Yeah.
I don't exactly call them a major market. And your idea to shut the game down when these guys are all making millions and millions, these teams, the game is in great health. We happen to be in a small market that doesn't spend a lot at all. And it's unfortunate. We're just talking about how lucky we are to be in Pittsburgh for the other sports, not in baseball so much. But Milwaukee, Cleveland, you spend your money the right way and you spend a little bit more of it, you can get there. They're not hopelessly outclassed, because Milwaukee very easily could be in this World Series as far as I'm concerned.
And you got to put a little bit of that blame on Neil Huntington, too, of drafting the way they did. You look at some of these teams in the World Series and in the postseason, how they drafted so well, and you look at some of the first rounders of the Pirates that aren't even around anymore. And if you do spend a little bit more money, I mean, that is a criticism of everyone. But I think fans right now have an opportunity to change things. If they just quit showing up,
well,
the Pirates
already
are
quit. They're down 1 million people since 15, 1 million fans. And I mean, yeah, it's nice to spend all the money, and believe me, the Pirates don't spend enough. I'm with everybody who says that. But the two of the 3 richest teams are in here. Boston is 1, LA's 3. San Francisco is number 2. They had a horrible year. It's not just about spending the money. You got to spend it wisely too. But I mean, to think that they're going to shut the game down or have a lockout. This isn't like the NHL a number of years ago, where everybody just about was losing money. They had to shut the game down. Now everybody's making a fortune. Why are they going to change it?
Yeah, even the smaller market teams
are making a fortune.
Are making money, and they're voting against the salary cap. The Pirates did it. Tampa was the only team that voted for it, right? The last CBA, I think.
Well, there's not going to be a salary cap.
And I think that's the only thing that can really change this game.
Right.
But you know what? These teams that are in the postseason right now, they don't want a salary cap. And the Pirates don't either, because they get the revenue sharing. They get all these big checks. So I don't think we're going to see it, but I think that's the only way that it would be like closer to the NFL and the NHL if you get a salary cap in Major League Baseball. All right, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls, maybe some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.